And so I started to look at the pain as an emotional issue. I had to do some inquiry around that because there was still some programming that said this is physical. It can't be emotional. And when I believed that it was physical, there was no healing. That belief stopped me from exploring what it was. So I had to do some inquiry first on that to let go of that paradigm. That this is all physical, that it's an abnormality in the spine. It's an injury. The pain is coming from the injury. It's not emotional. It has nothing to do with the mind. I had to overcome a lot of those beliefs to even begin to develop this work or to even heal. So as I put that to rest a little bit, I just went to Sarno's work and said, okay, if there's anger repression here, how would I know? Because it's repressed.
Exactly.
So I just sat there for a long time using some of the tools that we had developed before that, like where we sat and line out words and pictures. Like, so I'd sit with the pain and what does this mean about me? And then some very surface stuff came up and I was looking at it. And I noticed it really didn't get to the core pain. It would give some relief, but something else going on there. So I started to entertain the idea, well, if it's repression, then it's not going to arise by some of those questions. Like maybe it's too intelligent for that. If it has protected me this long, would it be that easy to bring it up? Right. But I still became curious, is it possible to bring it up? Because if I don't bring it up, then I'm stuck with it. I'm stuck with the pain. So what I now know is what I was kind of doing is reestablishing an old mind-body connection with that. So if there's anger repression, my thought would be, if Sarno is saying it's a mind-body connection, where's the mind? Because I couldn't see it. And so I just felt the pain. And so it made sense to me that the mind and the body somehow had become, well, at least the unconscious mind behind it had just become so pushed back that it wasn't going to come up without specifically prompting it up. Toyed with that in different ways, like how do you prompt that up? And eventually, because our tools are really so simple, I just said, well, this could be simpler than I think. So I started with things like a reverse inquiry where I would feel into the pain and say, pull up usually mom, dad, bullies, where it might be, right? There might be some repressed anger and bullying and all that.
Right.
So I put those folks up in awareness and I would just start asking reverse inquiries like, I could feel and express anger to the bullies. And it'd be like, no. And I never asked that question before. I never connected with me to do before. So finally, I feel like I was making the first contact with that mind-body connection. It's like, where's this no coming from? That's mind. No. It's just like barely showing itself. But I could feel the energy getting activated when I would say, I could feel and express anger. The pain would just go, oh, like as if to say no. Like we talk about inner child, like no, screaming no.
This is Lynn Fraser with the Radical Recovery Summit airing January 13th to 22nd, 2023. Please go to radicalrecoverysummit.com to view the clips and the interviews.